Well, I'm gonna be honest here, guys. This Monday Night Raw was very, very bad. Very mid. It did not feel special, even though they had a Stranger Things themed show, so it was supposed to be special, right? And for the women's division, I guess there were some major changes with the tag teams and the Intercontinental Champion, but let's be honest, Maxine Dupree as your Intercontinental Champion, it was just a waste of time. It really does not matter. The story between her and Becky, please end it. No one cares. Same with the Kabuki Warriors and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They've been telling that story for a year. I honestly don't know why they're still fighting. I don't know what they were fighting for, but, you know, they're the new champions, so I guess that's the end to the story, hopefully. And I just feel like a lot of Monday Night Raw's feuds and rivalries and stories just fall flat. Like they start off decent, like the Masked Man, start off interesting. And then a week later, now, does the Masked Man even matter? Austin Theory is basically a sidekick, right? That was just a waste of time. Guys, think about it. We waited 3 weeks just to see a sidekick, right? We were expecting it to be someone new. I mean, yes, Austin Theory hasn't been on the show or wasn't on the show for a while during that time, but we were expecting maybe Montez Ford, maybe an NXT call-up, maybe a new star, who knows? But no, we get Austin Theory, and now he's a sidekick. And then we get BS from the Uso brothers, basically coming out, having their entrance, and then redoing their entrance. So we watch them have their entrance for basically like 15 minutes, and then they cut a 2-second promo saying, "We're the best tag team, Uso. If anyone wants some, come get some." 4 words, 1 letter, whatever they like to say. It's very stupid. It's so stupid. Like, actually tell a story instead of just replaying their entrance music. That's how you know that the writing team is very, very lazy. Because I don't think that took much skill to even write that segment. Okay, guys, just go out there, we'll replay your entrance twice, and just say you're the best tag team. That's really it. You don't even have to write a script. I can say that on the top of my head. Now, the main event was decent, right? CM Punk did retain his title. Now, I wish Braun Breaker won it just because I don't want to see Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble just to call out CM Punk. Because that's the stuff they love to do. They did it with Jey Uso and Gunther. If they do the same thing with Braun Breaker and CM Punk, you got to fire Triple H. How are you going to make the same mistake twice? All right. Now, let's dive into the show, okay? We start off with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky against the Kabuki Warriors. Decent match, okay? Like I said, this rivalry has been way too long. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley are the new champions. So hopefully that ended that rivalry, that ended that story, and we can finally move on. All right, have them face other people, please. Next, we have the Women's Intercontinental Champion match with Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree. And I already said this, I don't know why Maxine Dupree was the IC champion, right? There's so many other women that you could have chose from. But yeah, they chose Maxine Dupree. I don't know why, but she is no longer champion. Becky Lynch won this match, and I'm happy about that. Hopefully they can move on, but I already know Maxine Dupree is going to get a rematch, and they're going to fight each other for like the 7th time. So yeah, hopefully we can just, Becky Lynch finds some magic, works a way to not face Maxine Dupree ever again, and just have a new feud. All right, I'm ready to move on. But knowing Triple H, we're probably going to see this feud for another like 3 months. So that sucks. Okay. They showed a lot of Obafemi. Well, not a lot. They showed an Obafemi vignette. So they showed an Obafemi vignette on SmackDown and Raw. So I don't know what show he's officially going to be on. And by the way, I did see Triple H post that Monday Night Raw signed Javon Evans. So Javon Evans, I guess, is no longer on NXT. And a lot of people are happy about it. It's nice to see Javon Evans in the main roster, but I'm going to keep saying it. I think he just needed at least 1 more year in NXT. At least be a champion. I don't think he's been a champion on an NXT roster, right? He's never been a champion, especially he's never been a main champion. So maybe he was a tag team champion. Maybe he was the North American champion. I don't remember. But you have to have that experience. You can't just put him on a main roster who's never been champion before, and then there's fans that are expecting him to be the next world champion in the next 2 years. I don't see that happening. I think he still needs to find his character. He doesn't really have a character yet. Right now, he's still the young guy who's very excited. That's really his character. And sometimes, I'm not going to say I cringe, but he needs to work on his mic skills a little bit, right? He's similar to like a Jey Uso when it comes to mic skills, but he's just way better in the ring. So, obviously, I would rather them push a Javon Evans over a Jey Uso. Keep Jey Uso in the tag team division because that's where he belongs, let's be honest. And I'm gonna keep it real. This was the first Monday Night Raw that I watched fully in a long time. Right? I was watching the Sixers game at the same time. I just put it on mute while I was watching the WWE. And man, there's so many ads, guys. Way too many ads. There's like a 5-minute promo or segment just about an advertisement. Like, how do people watch this every week with this much ads? Hopefully, maybe it was just because it was a Stranger Things special. Maybe that's why there were so many ads, but dang. Almost unwatchable. Almost unwatchable. Okay. Now, last thing I want to talk about is obviously the main event, Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. This match was actually pretty entertaining, right? There was a lot of late pinfalls where you thought maybe Braun Breaker could win. He had the help of the Visionaries or whatever. I still don't know if are they the Vision. I guess it's just the Vision. I keep calling them the Visionaries, but yeah. For some reason, Braun Breaker still lost, right? They had, CM Punk had Penta and Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee by his side, so they protected him basically, and CM Punk won pretty clean. So we'll see what happens in the future. I've said this already. I do not want to see Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble and call out CM Punk, or at least just call a pause on this feud, right? And maybe have some turmoil or some beef between the Vision, right? Have maybe Brunson Reed want to be the main guy, and he's like, you know what, you didn't do your job, I'll do mine. I'll do it. I'll be the guy. Maybe have something like that, and then Logan Paul has to choose sides. Austin Theory has to choose sides, and that would be some, pretty interesting politics, I guess, But, hopefully they have to do that, right? There's no reason for them not to, okay? Maybe it's too soon now, but hopefully they will in the future. And yeah, that's about it, man. If you guys enjoy this video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.